Checklist for Publishing and Selling Your Books by Reynolds outlines exactly, step by step, how to get your books published and selling as fast as possible. The most important steps could be mentioned in just a few words, but the book is full of additional common sense steps that many of us would likely not think about, things that make a great difference in the length and quality of the publishing process and the number of sales. You know, if we lived in the good old days and we happened to be a really successful author and we wanted to publish another book, we would just send a letter with our manuscript to our agent, editor, or publisher, who we probably had met on a number of occasions and knew all of his family members by name. And in the letter, we just introduce the book and close the letter by saying to give regards to the editor's wife and the rest of the family. And then we get back a letter from our editor, publisher friend who was literally drooling over our manuscript with the bad grammar, typos and all, and explanation of how he was just so anxious to get it into print and into the bookstores. And after putting our manuscript in the mail, our work would really be done, and we would just move on to writing our next book and leave the publishing and marketing completely to the publisher. Well, these days, things do work considerably different than that. I've written over a dozen books, and 6 of them have been published. The first 2 books harness the power of the Internet and web development as a business, neither any longer in print, were published by a conventional publisher in 2004. They were published 24 months after I submitted them to the publisher in 2002. The publishing process took 24 months. That's 2 whole years. And you don't have to even have much of an imagination to know how obsolete those 2 technical books were by the time they finally got into print. And a few years later, my next 2 books, Closet Full of Teddy Bears and Trouble in Sleepy Springs, were published in summer of 2009. They were in print and available for sale within 2 weeks after submission to the publisher, and were on Amazon within about 60 days after initial publication. The same with my most recent 2 books, Checklist for Publishing and A Simple Guide to Fabulous Photography. They were published very quickly using my methods described in Checklist for Publishing and Selling Your Books. And the book I'm currently writing is Checklist for Staying Healthy. And I can pretty much guarantee that that will be in the bookstore sometime this summer, not long after I submit it to the publisher. Now, if you've written a book and it's been a while since you submitted it and it still hasn't been published yet, I can pretty much tell you for sure that you have not used the methods outlined in Checklist for Publishing and Selling Your Books.